Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on Content course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, you can get a hold of me at marcelo@headlesscreator.com, and let's see if I get it right. My presenter told me the way to do it, but I still messed it up. I said I'm going to do this, so there. See, I can still do it with two fingers. I can't point. I can't figure this out. I'm too old for this. What can I tell you? Anyway, welcome to this lesson today. Today, my guest presenter is Matt Neal. He's a Kentico Kontent MVP and consultant. He's going to show us how to work with collections to manage content access, and we'll get into all of that in just a minute. But before we do, you know the process. Feel free to register to my site, headlesscreator.com. Just go there, and then when you register, you can go to courses, all courses, and then you'll find the Focus on Content course there. And of course, you're going to find the lesson right here, coming 4:30. That's today. Unbelievable. It's the last day of April. My gosh, we're starting May tomorrow. That's just crazy to even think about. Anyway, again, go to headlesscreator.com. As always, register. It's a free registration. You'll have access to all of the courses, including Content Modeling Weekly, which I'm a content modeling geek. You'll see there's tons of lessons there. Right now, up to 28 lessons, about 1,100 minutes of material. It's for learning how to model in any headless CMS. So, all right, as you know, that's it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and restart the intro, because for the on-demand version, which you'll have on my site, it'll be nice and clean. There won't be any marketing of headlesscreator.com. So I will see you back in 1 minute. Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on Content course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. You can get a hold of me, as always, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. My email address is right there. So feel free to email me anytime. I'd love to answer your questions. Today, I have a special presenter. His name is Matt Neal, and he's a Kentico Kontent MVP, and he's also a consultant. And he's going to show us how to work with collections to manage content access. You're going to learn all about that. But as always, we're going to learn a little bit about Matt. So I'm going to bring on Matt here. Matt, welcome.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
How are you?
Yeah, good. I think echo the surprise that it's the end of April already.
Yeah, it's crazy to even think about that, right? Yeah, it just feels like 2021 just started. So,
yeah.
Now you are located in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I'm located in the UK, just outside of sunny Oxford, which is down not too far from London, I suppose.
Is it sunny now, or?
I'd love to tell you. It was earlier. I've got all my curtains closed, but I assume it still is.
I see. Very cool. So, tell us about your background. You're a developer, consultant?
Yeah, so I've spent my entire career, I suppose, just being surrounded by web technology. I was originally doing sort of software engineering at uni, and I fell in love with creating web applications and playing with what was a very different landscape of much simpler HTML and JavaScript. And I kind of just fell straight into working for agencies and didn't look back, doing really rather large sites from the get-go. And then as I kind of progressed through my career, I started picking up various content management platforms and e-commerce platforms and stuff like that, and just it snowballed into where I am now, I suppose.
Would you consider yourself a back-end guy, a front-end guy, or full stack?
Yeah, back-end guy. I mean, you'll see from some of my demos later that I'm certainly not a front-end guy. Yeah, definitely more of a back-end guy. I kind of specialize in .NET more than anything else, although I think I really want to get more into sort of React and Next.js.
Yeah. How did you get into headless, though?
Well, so I was actually introduced to the concept of headless by Kentico. Gosh, back in maybe 2017 or something like that. When we had a couple of the guys from the Czech office come to our office where I used to work to show us this great new tool they were working on, which I think was called Draft at the time. And yeah, that is what we now call Kentico Kontent, and it was great. I mean, I think I built a website in it that evening, if I'm not mistaken, and I loved it. It was just so simple and so straightforward to separate the content and the presentation and just be able to build something.
It just makes sense, right? Regardless of which headless CMS, just the concept of headless makes total sense. Yeah, once I got into it, I think I got into it around the same time you did. It just blew my mind, going like, why didn't we think about this before? But anyway, this is not what today is about. We're going to get started in your demo. Before we do, I asked everybody, I'm a movie buff, as you can tell. What's your favorite movie?
So yeah, we had this conversation. I still haven't managed to figure one out. So I could.
How about top favorite? Or like...
I could start a war on the internet and say that I really like Star Wars Episode 1 and just.
Wait, when you say Episode 1, we're talking about like
Phantom Menace.
Oh, you know what? If I'm going to end the broadcast, right? No, I'm kidding.
That's it. Done. No,
that is one of my least favorite ones. Yeah. But it's okay. Hey, everybody has their own taste, you know?
I need to be clear for the record. I am joking.
Okay. My respect went way up again.
You get the keyboard jockeys going on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, we're ready to show your screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and add your screen here.
Okay.
And there we go. Beautiful shot of a bird there. Love it.
Lovely, isn't it?
There we go. We see it. So I'm going to go on mute. If anybody has questions, please feel free to ask. I'll jump in and ask Matt. If I will have questions for you, Matt. So sure. I'll jump in. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on mute.
Okay. So thanks, Marcelo. What I really wanted to talk about today was collections and how we can make use of them. So collections are kind of a really nice new feature that's been added to Kentico Kontent. In terms of what we'll go over today, I want to just really do a high-level view of what collections are. And then I've built an application which, as I kind of just touched on, it doesn't look beautiful, but it functions. It represents a business that run events. And that business are coming to a point where they actually want to franchise out, and instead of running all of the events at all of their venues themselves, they're going to get some franchisees to do that work for them. So what we're going to look at is how we can use collections in Kentico Kontent to achieve that, and how we can use roles with collections to actually make sure that franchisees can only edit their own content. We'll also have a brief look as well at the code that I'm using to build that application. So from the developer side, you can kind of see what we're doing. We're not talking cutting edge code here. It's just something that's really simple to show really what we're working on. So I suppose, what are collections? You can think of collections as folders, really, for your content, or maybe something similar to labels within Gmail. It's a way of separating out pieces of content. They may be the same type of content, they may be different types of content, and when you separate that all out, you can then apply roles onto that depending on which level of subscription you've got within Kentico Kontent, to make sure that someone who is the marketing news editor can't go in and change news for one of the product teams, for example. So we can separate content out like that. There's literally so many ways you can use collections, and this one about franchises is something that actually I've been working on recently on a project. So hopefully someone out there will also find it quite useful to look at. So if I just wanted to visualize that a little bit more, if we kind of look here, I've got 3 very, very happy looking editors, and then we've got some blue content and some yellow content. The color really just denotes that it's for a different department, but in reality, these are all news articles or blog posts or product details pages, and these editors should only really be editing their own content. But because they're all in effectively one big bucket, we fall into where one of the editors might edit something that they shouldn't, and that kind of creates all sorts of kerfuffle. So in order to make it clearer where that content belongs, what we can do is we can create these collections, and